Bluey the movie is hiding a huge surprise, and we already figured out what it is. Chili is going to have a new baby, but there are plenty of other things that could happen in this movie too, like cats finally appearing, and a flashback about Bluey's brother who passed away. New baby! Yes, it's very possible that Chili is going to have another child, who would be Bluey and Bingo's little brother. The clues are right there in the movie teaser that was recently shown at D23 Expo. In it, Bluey and Bingo, who are now in 3D, play with a red balloon. In fact, that red balloon is being featured heavily throughout the project's marketing, even appearing on the movie's official website. We need to remember that balloons are extremely common at baby showers, where they are often used to reveal whether the baby is going to be a boy or a girl. So Bluey and Bingo playing with a balloon could be a sign that they're about to get a new baby brother, and really want to find out whether the baby will be a boy or a girl. Wait, take a closer look at that balloon. It's the exact same one that appears in the episode Keepy Uppy, and in the teaser, they're playing the same game from that episode, where they hit the balloon to stop it from touching the ground. The difference is that this time, they're pushing it forward instead of keeping it up. It's almost as if the balloon is leading them towards something, which could be interpreted as the girls being led to meet the newest pup in the Healer family. Of course, none of this has been confirmed by Disney, so it may or may not be true. Either way, there are still a lot of incredible things to talk about when it comes to Bluey the movie, from theories and rumors to confirmed facts. We're going to cover all of that later in this video. Stay tuned because another awesome Cinewave is already on. Pregnancy clues. The truth is that Chili may have already been pregnant since season 3 of Bluey, and the movie could simply show the baby from that pregnancy being born. Zoom in on her belly in the season 3 episode Relax. Do you notice how her stomach looks much bigger and rounder than it normally should? If you didn't notice it before, compare it with this other image of her lying down and you'll see the difference. That's what made many fans start believing that Chili was pregnant with a new pup long before the Bluey movie was even announced. If she really had been carrying a baby since that point in the series, then the chances of Bluey's little brother being born in the movie are very high. That would prove just how carefully planned the story of Bluey really is, with even tiny details like this being used as clues for things that will become extremely important to the future of the franchise. Cats. And it's very possible that Bluey's new brother won't be the only new character introduced in the movie, because there is some pretty strong evidence that cats will also appear in this big screen adventure. That's because the movie suffered a major leak, with several pieces of concept art making their way onto the internet. Those images showed several cats with human-like characteristics, just like the dogs in the world of Bluey. That's a shocking reveal, because almost everyone assumed that dogs were the only animals in Bluey's world that behaved like humans, while human-like cats seem to exist only as cartoon characters within the show. Unfortunately, we can't show the leaked concept art for one very simple reason. Posts containing those leaks are being removed from the internet because of copyright-related court orders, something that can only happen if the images really do belong to the creators of the show. That's a very strong sign that the leaks are real. And even if that weren't enough, the 3D animation in the teaser has a style that looks almost identical to the artwork that appeared online, which makes the leak seem even more credible. The interesting part is that no cats appeared in the teaser, maybe because that part of the story is being kept completely secret, so it can be revealed in a much bigger trailer later on. Aunt Brandy. Chili isn't the only one who's going to have a child, because another new character with a very high chance of being introduced in this movie is Aunt Brandy's baby. In Brandy's case, this isn't even a theory, it's a fact. She revealed that she was pregnant in the sign. Take a good look at her belly. Judging by its size, she was already several months pregnant in that episode, so it makes perfect sense that her baby may already have been born by the time the movie begins, especially if the movie really does show Chili having another child too, because that would make babies one of the central themes of the story. And remember, Aunt Brandy spent many years trying to become a mother and being unable to because she had difficulty getting pregnant, which is one of the heaviest topics the series has ever touched on. Since the movie promises to be even more emotional than the show, this could be explored much more deeply, and you can be sure a lot of people are going to cry in the theater. So what do you think? Do you also believe Bluey is really going to get a new little brother in her movie? How about commenting #brother down below along with your opinion so we can read it? Season 4. Did you notice that if these theories and leaks are correct, these new characters could show up in the 4th season of the series, which should take place after the events of the movie? Bluey's little brother, Brandy's child, and even the cats. And as if that couldn't get any better, we have reasons to believe that Season 4 is already being made and could be released not long after the movie. And the reason for that comes down to one detail about the movie's production. Because it's being made in 3D, the animation isn't being handled by the same team of animators who work on the show, since they specialize in 2D animation. The movie is being animated by another studio that has experience with 3D, and that's where the pieces start to fit together. It means the show's animators could be working on Season 4 episodes right now at the same time the movie is being made, allowing both projects to be released close to each other instead of fans having to wait several more years for new episodes of the series after the movie comes out. Time jump. Taking things even further, what if the Bluey movie is the last time we ever see her as a child? The series could go through a time jump, with future seasons following the little blue dog and her friends as adults with children of their own. That would explain the introduction of Bluey's younger brother and Brandy's child, who would be older kids in the future and might even take over as new main characters. Not to mention that the final episode of Season 3, called Surprise, actually ended by showing us a future where Bluey is already an adult and even has a daughter of her own. Most people think that was just one scene and that the show will continue taking place in the present in future seasons, but there's nothing stopping the series from continuing in the future we saw in that episode. Farewell. Something else that strengthens this theory is that this movie will be Joe Brum's farewell, the creator of Bluey. He has already confirmed that after the movie, he won't be involved in producing future seasons of the series. In other words, a new era of the show is about to begin, and that's exactly the kind of opportunity where major changes could happen. And this farewell makes that possibility of Season 4 arriving sooner rather than later even stronger. In the same way that the animators at Ludo Studio are free to produce new episodes while the movie is being animated by another team, the show's new head writer could also already be writing those episodes, while Joe Brum focuses entirely on the movie. Let's hope the new episodes have stories that are just as fun and emotional as the ones written by the show's creator. Confirmed cast. But what about the movie's cast? It could be much bigger than it seems, possibly even including the return of Muffin. For now, it has been confirmed that Melanie Zanetti and David McCormack, who voiced Chili and Bandit respectively, will return. The teaser also made it clear that Bluey and Bingo will be back, since they're both in it, but that was expected. We still don't know who voices them though, because the franchise has always protected the identities of the children who voice the younger characters. The main reason is that many of those kids are the daughters of members of the team that produces Bluey. We still don't have any more confirmed characters, but remember those leaked pieces of concept art? They also showed several familiar characters, suggesting that they may be returning for the movie. Among them are Lucky and his family, Wendy, and Muffin, Bluey's bratty cousin. Even Doreen, who has never had that much screen time, appeared in the concept art and has a chance of showing up in the movie. The subscribe button is flashing just for you. Click it and hit the bell right now. 3D. Now, going back to the movie teaser, one of the things that stands out the most is the 3D animation. Remember how we talked about the show's animators not being the ones animating the movie? That job was taken over by Cosmic Dino Studios, another Australian animation studio. The difference is that Cosmic Dino already has experience making 3D animation, and that experience will be essential for making the movie look great. Even so, this will be the studio's first truly major project, and it will be their chance to prove themselves to the world. But there's some bad news. Some fans of the show absolutely hated the movie teaser. Controversy. Yes, believe it or not, the movie hasn't even been released yet, and it's already causing a lot of controversy because of its animation. A lot of people liked the 3D and think it fits the original look, but some fans hated the result. Some people think it will make the movie feel more generic, considering that almost every animated movie made for theaters is done in 3D. As for us, we actually think the world of Bluey looks really cool in 3D, but we'll only know for sure once the movie comes out. What about you? Did you like this new style, or would you rather it stay in 2D like the series? And here's another question. What would you think if we told you that this movie could also talk about Bluey's older brother, who passed away before the series even began? Want to understand how that could happen? Then take a deep breath. Lost brother. We're not making up what we just said, because Joe Brum, the creator of Bluey, has already confirmed during an interview that Chili really did have a child who passed away before he was even born. Remember the balloon that got so much attention in the teaser? Besides being a reference to Keepy Uppy, it could also be a reference to the episode The Show, where Bingo puts a balloon under her shirt to pretend she's Chili when she was pregnant. But the balloon ends up popping, which was a clue the series left to suggest that Chili's first baby passed away. And you know what's worse? Look at the balloon in the teaser. cancer. It ends up popping at the end, just like in the show. What if that also represents the death of Bluey's older brother? Maybe this means the movie will show a flashback to when Chili was pregnant with her first pup, making it clear just how deeply losing him affected her. The characters have never talked about this tragedy directly in the series, only through very subtle references because it's such a heavy subject. But if there's one perfect place to explore something like this, it's in a movie, which is expected to be much more emotional than the show's regular episodes, especially with such a strong possibility of Chili having another baby and Brandy's child appearing as well. The fun continues with just one click. There are 2 videos on the screen waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.